Okay, I am about to do something that I probably should not be doing and that you may not want to watch. I say that because I'm going to have to be using a heat gun here. And if my history with things that get very hot is any indication, I'm either going to burn myself severely or set the house on fire. But today I'm going to try not to do either of those things, although I always try not to do either of those things. I just don't try hard enough, I guess. But today I've got a little project here that kind of requires me to use the heat gun. As many of you know here, I recently bought this here. This is my ZevTech OZ9. And I need a holster for it. If I ever want to try it for carry, which, you know, why would you buy a gun like this and not try it as a carry gun? I'm going to have, like I said, a holster to carry it in. And this, unfortunately, doesn't fit all Glock holsters. It fits some, and some it fits sort of. But I was looking through my holsters, seeing if I could find something that would actually fit it. Well, I did find this here holster from Hogue, which is really nice, and it actually fits it perfectly. And I love the little speed release here, everything. I really like this holster, but the problem with this gun is it's a little bit longer and it's got a threaded barrel. The problem with this is this little thing's going to be playing peekaboo all day, like peekaboo, peekaboo, which wouldn't bother me. I don't care anybody seeing it. I don't care about anybody seeing it. But my luck, this would end up twisting off and getting lost, and that's going to make me sad. And I don't want to be sad if I don't have to be. So I was worried about that. Although I probably will use this sometime, but I don't want that falling off there. And I don't want to have to Loctite it on or anything. So, and plus, these aren't the easiest things to conceal. If you ever need to be really concealed, this is probably not the best thing, these paddle holsters. But for most times, this will be great. But I need something a little closer to the body. So as I was looking through my holsters, I found this one, and it's actually for a threaded barrel. And I stuck my gun in it, and surprisingly, it actually fits it perfectly. There's no wiggle, there's no jiggle, there's nothing. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know I had a Glock holster from Bravo. This is a Bravo holster. But as I look at it, I'm like, oh, I don't have a Glock holster from Bravo. This is actually for a 45 Tactical from FN. So I'm like, wow, it fits pretty good though. But it's not perfect, but it's pretty close to perfect. And I start thinking, well, you know what? This is Kydex. So if I heat it up and reshape it a little bit, I could probably make it perfect. So that's why I'm going to risk using the heat gun today. I'm going to try to make this holster that's made for, like I said, the 45 Tactical from FN. I'm going to make it fit this ZevTech gun a little better. Try to make it more perfect. Now, the places it's going to need the most reshaping is this little ridge that runs down the FN gun that isn't on the Glock, and I'm going to have to reshape the front of the trigger guard here. Also, I'm going to have to reshape the area with the controls back here because the controls are definitely not the same on the Zev as they were on the FN gun. Okay, to get started here, I'm just going to use the heat gun to get it hot. Just going to do one little area at a time. Then put the gun in. Give it a little smoosh. Flattened out that area where I heated it up right there. You can see it flattened out that little area where I heated right there. Since the gun is all metal down here, I should be able to heat this lower part with the actual gun in it. Now, you might be asking yourself why I'm using the cloth here to actually press down. Well, for two reasons. One, this polymer is actually freaking hot. And two, I don't want to lose the texture on the polymer, and pushing with the cloth instead of the flat part of my fingers will help me not lose that texture. Now, let's work on the trigger guard area here. Oops, that's hot. Forgot that it was hot. Now, when you're working around areas like the trigger guard, before you pull the gun back out, make sure that this cools to where it's hard again, or else you'll just undo the work you just did. While the trigger guard area is cooling, I'm going to go ahead and do the frame part right here. The little metal pieces get really hot. Just be careful. Okay, I am done. As you can see here, it's not the most perfect holster you'll ever see because I don't have anything to like compression fit it with like most people who make holsters would. So I had to shape it with my fingers, but it's perfect now as far as fit. It just doesn't wiggle at all. It's very solid in there. It's got a good retention. So it snaps into place. So very happy with this. I've lost all the feeling in most of my fingers now from burning them so many times, but it was worth it because now I've got a decent holster for this. The only other mishap I had is I kind of set my desktop on fire a little bit right there. But other than that, it was really easy to do. Just takes a little patience and just keep shaping it. You don't have to get it right the first time because if you don't, you just reheat it and do it again. But if you've got any holsters lying around that you don't use anymore and you got a new gun that it sort of fits in, just reshape it. Wasn't hard at all. You can see now it fits around the trigger guard. I got rid of those ridges and stuff down through here. Got rid of all the control stuff over here that was there that wasn't on this gun. Flattened out this. Reshaped it around the threaded barrel a little bit because this gun's a different length. I did trim it a little bit at the top here to keep it from hitting this. And I trimmed it at the top a little bit right here, as you can see. Now, you don't have to worry about this covering the whole trigger guard since this is not a leather holster. With leather holsters, you don't want it to come beyond the very back of the trigger so that it doesn't have the ability to fire the gun if you put it in and the leather's bent in. But since this is Kydex, it doesn't bend in, it doesn't move. So that's fine for that. I could trim it down if I wanted to where it just came to the back of the trigger, but not necessary for a Kydex holster. I don't usually carry Kydex, usually carry leather. But there you go, there's my first attempt at reshaping a polymer holster. Like I said, not the best, and I might actually work it a little bit more in through here to get it a little better. But for now, this is more than adequate. It did get a little shiny, but that'll wear off after a while, I'm sure. But there you go, there's my first attempt at reshaping a Kydex holster. Oops.
Go ahead. It's a lady at 46 South Road. 46 South Road. Greenfield. Station 1 call, retone that please. 10-4. Captain 4 to go to that location also. This is 19, is that correct?